Hello, welcome to the October 2nd, 2025 Helm Developer Meeting. My name is Robert. I'll be your host. This is a CNCF project and follows the CNCF Code of Conduct. If you do not want to be recorded, as this call is going to be recorded, please fall off and you can watch the recording later. And let's get started. All right. Do we have any announcements?
I just mentioned for people that weren't here that rejects tickets are available now.
Yep. Cloud Native Rejects is a co-located event to KubeCon. It happens the day prior, actually the day prior to day zero events. And Inge, if you have a link for that, can we put that into the notes and see if
I will put the link in. And also it's like 100 of the most important people you want to meet at KubeCon. So
well, is the only person
version.
The only person I need to meet is you with Helm there. All right. Well, let's get started. Benoit, if you're on, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yes, I have two subjects as a discussion. The first one is an old issue, but that was pop up with the stale bots about not allowing to download dependencies if we didn't before added the repository. So I think there is some like a to-do written by Matt Farina a few years ago, and I just opened a pull request for that. I think it can be a quite breaking change for many projects that doesn't rely on adding the repository. So maybe this is the right moment to implement this feature. And I think it's the good thing for security, but first I think it can be a good to have the discussion about if we want to do it or not.
Awesome. Did you tag Matt Farina in that?
No.
Just give a nice little friendly nudge.
Yeah, it's totally not going to see. I won't see it if you tag me in it. So it's good it was brought up here. Okay, so context. I can give context on this one here. So what happened was years ago, we've had some third-party security audits of Helm. We've had a few so far. And one of the security audits, it came up that Helm will download things from repositories you haven't added, which means ones you haven't decided you wanted to pull from when it comes to dependencies, right?
Yeah.
So you haven't opted into them. So somebody could inject some random one somewhere and you could decide, you know what? I didn't really want to use that one. I don't want to use that location. I don't trust that place, but you're never notified. It just automatically does it. So it came up as I think a notice or informational that this is one of those things where normally with package managers, you'd say, hey, I opt into that one. I'll add it. I've checked it out. I validated it. I'm good with it. And then you can start using it. And Helm didn't do that. And so the to-do was to go in and do that. And that was a breaking change to users. So rightly so, we never made that change. But it's a good one to discuss here. Do we want to do that? Are we okay changing that? What do you all think? But that's where the angle came from, was the security angle. Because you're using repositories you haven't said, hey, I'm good with.
So I have a question about this. At this point, though, we have different options than we had then. Because for example, charts can have a dependency download from not just another named repository, but from an OCI registry.
Yep.
And we don't have any kind of whitelisting, or excuse me, any kind of allow list for old language, any kind of allow list for that. So I don't know how we would do that unless we wanted to implement that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It becomes one of those things is, do you do something like, is it better to add deny list functionality to Helm to deny things, or add overall allow list functionality so your corporate network or whatever doesn't do it? Is that a good place to have a plugin at that level where you can implement that kind of thing at a corporate level, which could be a feature? Is that a better way to approach it than this? Granted, this is a very, very old one from before OCI was a GA feature.
Right.
I would say it doesn't make sense to restrict for legacy registries, but not for OCI, because for the security purposes, the person would just substitute with an OCI.
It might come into the registries.pip enhancements, or you might be able to do it at that level if you want to restrict it to certain repositories.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
we get into, but that really gets into allow deny list functionality, which you might do differently than this.
Does registries conf have a allowed registries feature?
Yeah, I believe it does. I believe it does.
So you can set an allowed list, which because
Yeah.
the difference is it's not really a good story for the user have to go to block everything they don't want to download from because that's infinite. So they can't
Right,
really do that.
exactly.
I would say my conclusion would be if we can also do this functionality for OCI via registries.conf, we could probably also swing this. I mean, it makes sense to also do it for repositories. I would add a flag so a user can disable this behavior because I suspect it will break a bunch of people and they will want to. I guess is a flag even necessary? Because I guess you can just add the repository directly.
I'd almost
Just thinking
rather
about
see the other way around. Just FYI, it's like on one hand, so Helm's been around for
Years.
10 years now, and we've never had this functionality. As far as I know, this is not blocking people from using Helm or really seen as a like widely considered a security problem. It would have to be a malicious chart author, and we always ask people to review charts. I mean, do people always do it? No, but we have a lot of other security features in place for people who are concerned about that, to make sure that there's chart signing, there's chart verification, there's all this other stuff. So my suggestion would be if someone's concerned about having an allow list, perhaps we let that happen, but we don't force users to have one. That would be my just gut response.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I like the allow and deny list functionality because you may have certain ones you want to deny just to catch yourself from not using it. And you may otherwise, as a company, just want to have an allow list of only this, implement those features, maybe Helm wide, and not so much do this because this is going to change CI workflows and some other things as well. And I think that is probably an easier way to just manage it, is to provide that as some kind of mechanism through Helm, and we can do that separately.
But isn't that Helm repository add? That's your allow list today.
Well, that's Helm repositories. It would so we have registries and repositories, and the handling for those can be a little bit different. So we would just need to make sure that the allow and deny list functionality cleanly worked across both.
Yes, for registries, this I think would be registries.conf because this is the place where you can put an allow list for OCI. So then it'll be the question would be what would we do for repositories?
So as an action item, does someone want to update this issue or this PR? This is a PR, right?
Yeah.
And just make that clear that we want to make sure that this that A, it's not blocking users, that it's an opt-in feature, and B, that it works for both dependency method.
And I think we really need to have a proposal on how we want to go about doing the allow and deny list. I think that's what we need next.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we want, is allow and deny rather than forcing to add each repository is we kind of settled on. So let's just send it back and say, you know what, this is what we were thinking back then, but our thinking now is allow deny list based, and we want something to fit in with everything else. Can we just get that as, that needs to be written up. So that way we can look and evaluate the design and then go forward with that.
Okay.
Sound good? And I'll take the action item to write it up and respond to this.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. All right. Benoit, you have another one. This is pull request 31347. Let me put this in the chat. The floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, someone asked if it was possible to add an option when you push your chart to validate the version that is inside the chart with an argument. So I added the option to add double dots, and you can put the version, or you can add a flag with the version, so you can validate that when you're pushing a chart, you are sure that it's the right version. So it will fail early if it's not the right version. But the thing is, it means that we will add a version flag on a push command, and it will not let you choose a specific version to push. It will just ensure that you are pushing the right version. And I was wondering if using the flag version here is a good idea, because for me it's reserved to different kind of stuff. So I don't know what you think about this.
We should clarify this. It took me a moment to get my head around it. I think a few of us discussed this. And in the linked issue, kind of finally realized that, like, if I understand correctly, and it looks like from the thumbs up that's the case, that this would be not seen as an enforcement of the version in the chart matching the tag, but it would just help, like help out. It would be seen as a helper, so that authors don't accidentally. If I heard this right, like that there's. If I get this right, and I don't know how it matches to a version flag specifically, but if I understood the issue right, it was you don't want to push an OCI tag that says one version, but the chart.yaml has a different version.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is that correct? So yeah.
Yeah, so here's a question. Is this something that should be on by default with a flag that says disable version check instead? Is this the thing we want as a default thing, so you don't accidentally push something where the internal version is different from the tag that it's being pushed with? Because that's what I would do. I would just put this check in by default and then give you a flag to disable it, just so it's just always there as an IC. I don't know. What do you all think? I see what Scott thinks.
Yeah, I'm for it. Anyone else? George, Andrew, Joe, comments, thoughts, feelings?
I'm trying to remember the function. Do you actually specify the tag when you push? I thought the tag was implied by the chart version.
It is, but now you can just, when you provide it, it means that you will check that it's the right. So for example, you forget that you didn't increment in your chart, and you try to push, and you pass the version flag, and you say, oh, it's the new major version. And you say, oh, you try to push a new major version as a flag, but the chart is at a different version. So it's like a safety guard.
Then to Matt's point, would an option just be to allow users to specify the tag, and then that would be an error if the tag doesn't match the chart version.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a cleaner, more OCI native implementation, I would like to think.
I'm taking one tiny step back from this, like, just maybe I'm missing now the value of this at all. If we're doing if we're doing Helm push, and it's using the version from chart.yaml, what is the value of changing that behavior at all? Is it to, yeah. Like, because if I understand this right, is we Helm push path to tarball after we do Helm package, and it creates that tag based on that version. What is the value of doing anything different than that now? Because I think maybe I was thinking about too many things, like we all are right now, and I knew this, but I forgot it when I was reading that issue. Yeah.
If I paraphrase Bernard's rationale, it was that if you had forgotten to increment the version, then you've got like a CI, and you expect your CI to be pushing version 1.5, but your chart's still on 1.4. And and if you think you're pushing 1.5, then it would be an error to push 1.4 in your CI.
Oh, I
That's
see.
just
So
exactly-
we would require a version in order to ensure that the user knows what they're pushing. Is that the?
Yeah, exactly.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
So
Do-
like an explicit version, which would be an error if it was mismatched to the chart rather than implicit version. I mean, another way to summarize.
So wait, are you saying we would require the version all the time or only by optionally?
It's optionally. Yeah.
Okay, so normally if you push it, it's just gonna find the version in the chart and tag it that way. If
Yeah.
you add the version, then it's going to make sure that the version matches what's in the chart when it's pushed.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's a check to make sure you're actually doing it if you want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that check because there are enough people who screw things up over time in production that it's nice to have a little check there.
Got it. So then in that case, we wouldn't use the disable flag because we just wouldn't use the version.
Yeah. Doing the version implies you do the check. And if you don't want to do the check, you just want to use it, then remove the version from what you push.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Let's continue. All right. Angie, floor is yours.
Yeah, real quick. So I've been talking about it a couple times, but I just got YAML script to compile to Glozer, which is Closer that compiles to Go code, and then I got that Go code to compile to X, so I can actually, you can take any YAML script program and compile that to native binary and to WebAssembly. So that's exciting. I'm working with the author of the Closer language, which is pretty new, but the guy's awesome. And it could be by the end of the year that the whole YAML script project is Go entirely. So, which could be pretty exciting, and also, you know, opens the door to WASM completely. So, Scott, I wanted to, or I'm glad last time I talked about this, Scott and George weren't here, but how many WASM plugins do we have for the new thing? Like how many real ones do we have, or even test ones?
We have a few tests. We have one. Oh gosh, we have one official. There's nothing official right now, but we have one test. We have a test repo with plugins, and we have one WASM test plugin in there. And sorry, we have a repo with example plugins. We have not yet moved to, or I guess that's another topic, to the Helm org. It's just temporarily on my user account because just George and I were like choosing where to collaborate. But
Okay.
we do in the HIP there we are supposed to have some example plugins, so maybe we should move it there. And there's only one there. But George
Okay.
had previously made some, I don't know, are there others, George, that are in progress or?
No, but I should try and write some. I just have time.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get Helmwise compiled to WASM and try it out with the new framework as soon as possible. So I'll probably reach out to either one of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll send you the link.
Yep. We need to write our docs as well, Scott.
Yeah.
We should try and get onto that.
Right. So for the sake of time, I know we got a lot of discussion points in here. Scott, Helm 4 release party at KubeCon, go.
Yeah. So I know that there was a former chat, Robert, where you suggested that there was another thread there with a conversation about this stuff, and I
Yeah.
we've had a couple of chats about it, but yeah.
Yeah. So for my context, the only thing I wanted to make sure of is that if we're going to say we're going to do a Helm release party, to be open up to anybody else who wants to sponsor it, so it doesn't feel like, you know, like Replicated or SUSE or any one company had it. It's Helms for everybody. So it was just one of those, like, how do we do that so we don't look like we're favoritizing someone over the other?
Yep. Yeah, so
Go down the compile, join the
basically just want, we would need to know, just practically speaking, by when did I say? Dun, 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 dun. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm sorry, I just literally wrote it. Oh yeah,
24th.
October 24th, right? So we've got like 20, like two weeks or whatever, or a few. Wow, math. 3 weeks for different like maintainer companies or contributor companies or whoever to co-sponsor. So I'm not quite sure how to get the word out the best.
Generally we put together a prospectus and just say, hey, we are looking for sponsors for the Helm release party. If you're interested in sponsoring, please contact somebody, and then whoever that someone is can say, hey, we have $500, $1,000, and you're going to be one of 3 sponsors, and then do it that way. And as long as we put it on public channels, we tweet it, LinkedIn it, I don't care where, just as long as you say we put it out there, then we are officially neutral, and we put it to the community.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Yeah, I can get that stuff. And right now, I think the room is 60 people. But if other companies want to go in on sponsoring, we could afford a bigger room with more people. My thought was, this isn't one of those like, hey, we've got room for like 1,000 people to show up or something like this, and we'll foot the bill for it all. I think without other companies like pitching in, I don't think we want to do that. So to start, it could be like we say this is a party for like anyone who's contributed to Helm 4 in any way, something like that. And we just have a wild guess that there won't be more than a certain number of those at KubeCon who actually show up. Just do our best there. But if other companies want to pitch in, hey, sky's the limit. So
yeah. And it just ensures we're not showing favoritism. And if anyone wants to jump in and give us more money, then we did our due diligence. So thank you, Scott.
With you.
Paige and Scott, Helm 4 docs update. You guys, the floor source.
Yeah, I think we just wanted to kind of show the latest to the group, right, Scott? So we have a new URL with a fair bit of the functionality in there.
Yes. I can actually show it real fast.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. All right, there we go. All right, so let's move my controls out of the way here. Yeah, so okay, so I'll open up or actually rather, I think it's already here. The normal doc site. The changes so far are in a couple of them. Refer to past conversations and refer to the HIP and the linked issue for other updates. This is just kind of like showing where things are at. The content is moved over. There's a couple of changes that come with this framework. One is that there's a a sidebar to show the headers. I know that there have been past issues asking for this, whereas we don't have anything like that.
Yeah, which system was this finally built on?
DocuSource.
Okay, DocuSource. And did we figure out how far back when you do multiple versions, DocuSource lets us go?
Yes and no. It's a pretty high number, but what we're doing for Helm docs is we only are showing major versions, the updated version for major versions. So at this point, we only have 3, including one pre-release, including Helm.
Yeah, no, and I'm thinking of the future. So the plan here, and I'm familiar with DocuSource, so maybe I'm jumping ahead with folks, is if we do 4, are we planning on 4, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3?
That's
or
a
just
good question. I was thinking we really just like sort of start, like we stick with the major versions, because especially if we're increasing our release cycle to a year, it's already difficult enough to keep up with the changes between versions.
Yeah, so we haven't agreed to keep up our major release cycle to a year, have we?
Okay. I thought that was a goal. No, I mean, maybe it's not a full agreement, but if we're going to speed it up in any way.
Well, I mean, if you're making major breaking versions every year for your users, that means your SDK users have to deal with a major breaking change every year. And then you're dealing with overlapping support of major branches every year. There's
Sure.
a significant bit of work there. So
Let
that's
me
one of
back
those things
out
that
of
we yeah,
back
so
away from
that's the
that
reason.
piece. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's back away from that piece and just say that like
Okay.
currently it's if
No, and I'm okay with major versions here.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where I'm asking because I actually know with Docusaurus as a user of it, I've run into issues where it might be 20 versions in, and it actually starts to fall over with the number of versioned things you have, and you
Gotcha.
have to deal with that. So if it's just major versions, you kind of sidestep that,
Okay.
which is fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. All right. We're
Nothing
getting
more.
close.
Yep.
We're getting close to time. I want to make sure we have enough time. Matt, can you do in 30 seconds your update for Helm 4 betas, RCs, and releases? Go.
I'll try. So the document says 4 to 6 weeks out, do betas, and then we can get in RCs. So I want to do a beta next week. Once we go to beta, no more features. It is bug fix only. And I'm trying to get the last of what I think the changes are in to make the multi-versions of charts be possible. I've got one more giant PR that's coming in just to change the function signatures in the actions package to make it possible to do multiple versions of charts. It doesn't implement everything, it just makes the possibility an option. And that will be coming here in the next few working days, hopefully sometime early next week. After that, at least it just enables those features in the future. And so next week, I'd like to cut that beta, which means feature work going in needs to stop, and it'll then get queued up for the 4.1. Breaking changes will need to stop at that point, really. And it's let's get bug fixes. RCs, I'd like to do at the start of November, and then probably cut the release on the Monday of KubeCon. So that way we cut it there. We can cut it Monday or Tuesday, but actually cut it while we're at the conference there. Haven't figured out exactly when, but we might talk to George or something and do it in a booth. But what is it? Is it when? What's the KubeCon? Is it Tuesday, Wednesday? It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this time, right?
Correct.
And is the Helm talk on Tuesday or Wednesday? I'm trying to remember. It's Wednesday?
Believe so, yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So figuring it out, the best logistical time to do it, there may actually be something with, George and the Project Pavilion. There might be something neat we can do there, but actually figure out the right time on site. The default, I would say, is probably Monday to do it. If we don't find something better. So that way we're not doing it while we're dealing with conference Wi-Fi, unless we have some nice setup with them.
I still have the PR to open for automating the release thing.
Yeah.
If we get that done beforehand, maybe we can fold that into, but I'll follow up.
All right. We are at time. George, is it okay we push your PR till next week, sir? Just to be respectful.
We can push it to next week, but if someone reviews it, that'll be even better.
Okay. All right. It's in there. KubeCon video is for our key project update keynote. It has been submitted and we got feedback, so it's approved, ready to go. Let's do assignments for next calls. Do we have a moderator? I will not be here.
I can moderate.
Thanks, George.
Okay.
Notes.
I can take notes.
Thank you, Scott. PR, you got Robert and Scott's.
Yeah.
All right. All right, we're over. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.